you're thinking about studying law. That's great news. But here's the thing, it's a whole new thing that you're learning. You probably won't have studied it before. So before you dive in, there are a few things you could do right now to set yourself up for success in your legal studies. So here are my top tips, and trust me, future you is going to thank you. So our first tip is to get familiar with legal news. The law doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's happening all around us every single day. So one of the best things you could do is start quite small by following major cases and topics that interest you. So for example, that could be cases about free speech, human rights, or even business law if that's what you're interested in. And some key websites for that might be Legal Cheek or the Law Gazette. They're really, really good websites as excellent starting points for breaking things down in a way that is easy for you to understand. And beyond that, sometimes social media can be a really good source of information too, be that TikTok or LinkedIn or anything else that you find engaging and you know is reliable. Our second tip is to read a beginner-friendly law book. So one of the best ways to set yourself up for a legal education is to read an introduction to law book, and you don't need it to be a heavy academic text, but it does help to get a feel for what studying law is all about. So one of my personal favourites is Letters to a Law Student, and that is by Nicholas McBride, and it's written like a conversation, so it's not an intimidating book, and it covers things like how to think like a lawyer, how to write legal essays, and what professors are actually looking for in your work. Another really good one is The Secret Barrister, as that tells you a bit about the legal landscape in the UK, and can be a really good starting point. And beyond all that, if you really don't quite want to read anything, you could just start with a legal drama. It won't be factually accurate, but it could be a nice sort of introduction to law and some key concepts. Number 3 is to brush up on your writing skills. So in law, you're going to have lots of different essays to write, problem questions to solve, and it's all about how well you can communicate your complex ideas clearly. So if you start practicing those skills now, you could pick, for example, a legal news article and write a short summary, something like that, and you focus on explaining what's happening in simple terms, as if you're sort of maybe telling a friend, or trying to break it down for someone who's never heard of law before. Then that could be a really good starting point to hone those skills before you get started, so you're ready to go. Our tip number 4 is to get organised. So law school is very fast paced, and if you're not on top of things, it's very easy to fall behind. So one of the best things you could do is set up, for example, a note-taking system now. Some people like handwritten notes, others people prefer digital, there might be apps that you want to use, whatever works for you. Just make sure your notes are clear, structured, and easy to revisit, and that you actually revisit them often.